Okay, and hi there, folks. We have an interesting one today. I wanted to get this up as quickly as possible. Just arrived today. This is Special Hobbies 1/48th Tempest Mark II. Now, before I continue, is it though? So a bit of background on this kit. This isn't really a special hobby. So as we know, EDUARD do a very, very nice and highly respected Tempest Mark V, Typhoon Mark V, in 1/48th. EDUARD, however, of course, recently one of the factories survived a rather nasty fire. It resulted in a lot of things not happening, a lot of things happening. I won't go into that, but the Tempest Mark II was supposed to be coming. Enter Special Hobby as an extra partner to help them get back on their feet and back up running. This results in two kits, the 1/72nd Messerschmitt 109E and this one. So 99% of it is actually not Special Hobby. Same with the 109. It's actually EDUARD. It just so happens that this boxing is the first to come to market. So, we've all seen the previous version. Let's look at this one. On the box, it's rather smart box art. It is SH48214, technically part of their high-tech range, high-tech kit range. So that means there's going to be some extras in there. We've got some nice marking options there. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's more than that though. And then we have some funky extras because the high-tech release. So we have some wheels and engine parts, which look pretty cool. On the other side, we have the usual sort of blurb telling you about Special Hobby and the fact they're from the Czech Republic. We know that. More on there. And that's basically it. So, what do we have? Supplied by my usual friends at MJR. Mike, Leslie, Danny. Who packed it? Go on. Looks like Danny and Emma. Thank you very much. Oh, I need to thank Emma as well for sorting me out some of this stuff. I ran out of my usual Halford's primer, so if anyone has any good ideas for a quick spray primer just for the small jobs, let me know. Seems they've stopped doing black. I don't know. Right, instructions time. We have Tempest Mark II, a big section all about it. Again, this is looking decidedly EDUARD-ish. We have parts call-outs, so you can get that all in there. Again, lots of parts that won't be used. They've also crossed out certain parts by the looks of it, like the parts obviously that are going to be replaced with resin, etc. You can see again the EDUARD look there for the clear parts. We've got colour call-outs in just guns only. It's a little bit of a shame, but we shall see what else they have. And of course we have photo etch parts for the belts and masks as well. So we've got everything you might need from, say, an EDUARD Profi Pack kit. Semi-colour instructions, which are pretty cool. So starting as usual with the cockpit. Again, this is looking decidedly like the previous boxings. So big chunky bits going on. We have just choices for decals or plastic parts. We don't have any etch parts for the instrument panel yet. Again, I will tell you, there are EDUARD boxings of this kind. So, takes your pick. Framework coming in as well. More colours, more framework. Instrument panel going in. So here's where things change. So you have to decide at this point whether or not you want to use the engine details or not, as there's different parts now. And of course you have to cut out a large section of the fuselage just there if you wish to use the open engine. The panels of which of course will be replaced with other parts. So engine, depending on which one you go for, and cockpit going in. A few more smaller details just there. Before or after? I think that should really be done before that, but that's personal taste. We have the starts of the wheelbase going together. Again, looking very much like previous boxings. Smaller details, etc., just to bring up the detail. Formers and stuff. And again, the other one there. Once that's done, they can be sandwiched with the radiator parts to the bottom wing, which is one piece. Is it telling us about clear parts to go in or not? Just I'll have a look at the parts. We then have the engine ring going on. A small panel going on the top, again depending on which version, so take a pick before you start. Tail pieces going together, they're all quite simple. Some small little details again for the cockpit going in afterwards. Then we have more actual cockpit parts, so again this depends on which version you're going to be doing, but for the insert that goes over the top of the canopy area. So these again have to be picked out depending on which version you want to go for. Flaps, tail wheels, again you've got your choice of plastic or resin parts. Smaller parts like tail wheel doors and stuff like this. Again, this is the main wheels now. Again, you've got a choice now of plastic or resin parts. We'll have a look at those later. Ah, see, there's the lights going in afterwards. Okay, so you've got your choice then of colours and bits and pieces, so they go in after. Fair enough, that answers that. Some smaller parts again for the undercarriage, just to make it all nice and straight. The other doors going on, smaller aerials, that huge propeller. Again, slight differences depending on version. That goes on. Again, if it's an open canopy, slightly different parts, and if it's open engine, you've got another part to replace the bit you cut away. And the canopy is getting some extra detail as well. Alright, it's telling you what sort of little angles it all should be from. And then finally, we have some choice of stores. So we have some rockets or tanks. And again, depending on which camo version. And then we've got a nice little guide for the masks as well. And then we're into the marking options. So let me straighten that up nicely. We have a nice camouflage version here from 1945 in August. So pretty cool camo one with some identification stripes on. And then we have a nice silver version from, I guess, quite a bit later. Yeah, that's from Malaysia in 1949. Again, that won't be natural metal finish. That will be like the sort of high-speed silver. So, let's see what you think of that. We have another one over the other side here. Again, I'm just trying to see like a date there. I can't actually see a date, so I don't know when that one's from, but pretty cool camo. Again, that one will be available obviously with the rockets, with this big stencil across the bottom, so I assume that's still post-war. Yeah, West Germany, so that's going to be post-war at some point. And then we've got two really cool different ones. We have this nice camo one here, desert camo from the Pakistani Air Force, or the Royal Pakistani Air Force as it was back then, in 1948. And the Royal Indian Air Force, again, as it was back then in the late 1950s. Again, that would be painted aluminium, so high-speed silver. And this is quite interesting actually as well here. I would have to check, if I was to do this one, I would have to check my resources because it says Middlestone and Earth. It doesn't say dark or light Earth. So you might want to check that. Just a zero blue on the bottom though, so kind of typical. And then we've got some other bits and pieces that Special Hobby will be doing. Including some extra bits through CMK, which is another one of their satellite companies. It does suggest this engine piece, which of course is wrong. So that's for the other Tempest. So that's for the normal sort of Mark V one, but still beautiful though. Look at that, absolutely stunning. I imagine the pilot's perfectly well used for this thing. So we have, oh, of course we do, we have one bag. I'm not angry, I'm not. See how much damage has been done. So, very careful to pop that open. How much is going to drop out? Nothing, really? Wow, okay. Put that over there. Okay. We have the Decors, which look really, really nice. I'm not... Well, yeah, go on. I'll pop them over. It does look like they are unsurprisingly printed by EDUARD, so I'm guessing these are the new style ones. Whether people like them or not, that's up to them. I still haven't tried any yet. Come on. Look at that. Fly off. These all look very sharp though. Very nice, very register. Slightly glossy without getting over the top. We've got all these big serials are all cut up into parts. So again, not a problem if you want to have wheels up or down. Perfectly readable squadron details there, so we like those. Oh, we have a little bit of etch that's stuck itself to there. So we'll have a look at that. Got a tiny little bit of etch for the, it does look like it's in colour, for the belts. It's kind of cool, like that. We have the masks. Again, I imagine these are no different from normal EDUARD ones. All very well cut up, so we like that. Clear. Why on earth are they clear? Okay, we appear to have semi-clear tanks. Not quite sure why, but there we go. And even the pylons. Slightly curious. I have no idea why it really matters whether or not they're clear or not. They do seem to be showing. Is that burring? Is it? It looks like it's nearly 3D printed. You got like a all the way down it. So if you can, camera can pick that up. But again, not really an issue to be honest. Again, I think that's on the inside, not the outside. And again, once they're painted, won't make any difference. We then have the main clear parts, which obviously are a little bit more important. Now they look stunning. So beautifully clear. See my fingerprint through that easily. Okay, smaller parts. And then the front again, which is just crystal clear. So we like that. I'll try and put that back in there. Put some protection. Now we've then got these resin parts, and I imagine these resin parts are going to be somewhat specific to the special hobby version of this kit. Again, I imagine that the EDUARD versions will have different options, etc. But we have this beautiful engine plug. Obviously, it does have a bit of excess on it, but that's not really an issue. Once that's cleaned up, that will look stunning. All painted up and dry brush and all that. I mean, why wouldn't you use that? That's beautiful. We have more parts for the front there. Again, oops, not the camera, I do apologise. That's the normal engine plug. Wheels. Again, looking decidedly EDUARD-ish in their construction, but we have some beautiful Dunlop markings on there. Beautiful tread on there. I'm not going to get every one of these out, you get the idea. That's the panel to replace the one you cut out if you're going to be using the... It's got some little rivet detail on. Again, just to replace the one you cut out if you're going to have the engine on show. As I say, personally, why wouldn't you? And that's the plug for the top. Again, similar quality. So we like all that. Right, let's get into the main parts. This is the important bit. So, what a surprise. How familiar does this all look? So, I mean, it literally says EDUARD on the sprue. So, front end all new. There's the bit you have to cut out if you wish to have it all on show, but we have some beautifully sharp detail here on the fins. Again, stunning rivet detail all the way across. Oops, that big tail to try and get the camera to catch that. So yeah, beautiful. Some parts inside, of course. Again, a lot of that will be covered. Again, these stubs, etc., will all be well out of way. So don't really care about those. Not even be able to see that one through the vent, so it's not an issue. A little bit of detail for the tail wheel. So that all looks suitably stunning. We have here some smaller parts. We've got some very, very small details there for the undercarriage. We have parts for the instrument panel. Again, small parts there. That's that plug just above the cockpit. Give them some lovely little rivet detail on. We have tail surfaces. Again, suitably the same. Again, this is clearly EDUARD, this part. We've got the nose there. The nose ring. With, again, some lovely little, in this case, ingrained rivet detail. That big chunky nose. And one of the props. Good. Oh, there. That's the optional vent for the top. And that's the radiator as well there. So that looks lovely. Which option was that? Can I remember? I can't. We have the wings, which again don't have any injection pieces where you would see them. Is that old release? Looks like it might be old release there, so I might give these a wash. Yeah, that's pretty oily in there. You can see that smear that I've just created. So we've got a bit of mold release agent on here. It's looking a little oily, but nothing a quick wash wouldn't fix. On the outside, they've got an aerial hit, would be very, very easy to knock off, especially when cleaning up this tab here. That's rather annoying. Again, I can see some mold release on the outside there. We've got some stunning detail all over these parts. And these are the new parts, obviously, with the different leading edge. This new version. But again, very, very familiar to anyone who's done the earlier versions. Looking pretty awesome. We have another different, or two different types of prop. Again, so folio detail. Again, we have a little bit of mold release, and I can see just on there. So we have a different plug. So be careful you use the right one. Tail parts. Good just there. Some of the smaller parts. Again, most of these aren't going to be used. These are going to be for different versions. Again, more tail pieces. The rudder. And so on, looking lovely there. Different noses again. And we have some the chunkier parts for inside the cockpit. Again, the other side doesn't really tell us anything apart from these nice ones here. Now we do have some ejection marks which are rather annoying. Just there especially. Doesn't really need to be there. That's a little annoying, considering the rest of the kit is so careful to not do that. And then we have two sprues of tiny, tiny little parts. Teeny tiny little parts here. Which all look beautiful. Small gates on them. Again, EDUARD branded. So we know what we're getting. Getting parts you won't be using. But still all looking very, very nice. Just looking good. We have another. See, this is what happens when you have another nose that's been knocked off somewhere. I don't know where. I didn't see. Did anyone else spot the sprue that one came off? Okay. we have pieces for the rockets and rocket rails, which all look kind of beautiful. We've got very, very thin, be very, very careful cutting these off for the canopy, well, for the cockpit, sorry. Left and right. Again, more rockets. And in the centre we have the plastic wheels if you prefer, which I certainly wouldn't. They're pretty, well, they've got Dunlop written on them, that's not bad. But they are pretty basic in comparison to the resin ones. The resin ones are way nicer, if I'm honest. But they do have some decent detail. They're alright. So people who don't like working with resin, you do have that option as well. So, special hobbies, EDUARD special hobby, 1/48 Tempest Mark II. Yeah, don't let the branding put you off. This is definitely a Mark II made by EDUARD. It's all over the parts. So if you liked the Mark V that they did, and you want a really late war 50s version, I can't recommend it more. It should be a really nice kit, and the detail on the engine is just absolutely beautiful in the box. As I say, there will be further boxings from EDUARD and Special Hobby to look forward to. But yeah, if you want to be out there and get in first, go for it. Highly recommend it.